Okay, so I'm back again. Hello. Today is October the 28th. It's a Thursday, and this is my podcast and YouTube um, studio channel, The Spiritual Sense, or Spiritual Sense, I should say. And so today's topic is on Wicca. Now, I spoke on Wicca. I did a podcast where I did some research on Wicca roughly, um, I say about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years ago on Wicca. And so Wicca is a practice or religion where they incorporate spells, nature, earth roots, use of oils and things of that nature. And so for whatever reason, I was going to speak on another topic, but it says, okay, do an update on Wicca. And that's what I'm going to do now. So it says, what is Wicca? I hate to plagiarize and read verbatim, so I try to not read everything verbatim because I'm on a website and I did not write the content on this website, so bear with me. It says Wicca is a modern earth centered religion with roots in the ancient practices of our shamanic ancestors. Its practitioners, who call themselves Wiccans, honor the life giving and life sustaining powers of nature through ritual worship and a commitment to living in balance with the earth. Wicca is technically classified as one of many pagan religions, though not all Wiccans will identify as pagan, and plenty who identify as pagan are not Wiccans. So, it goes into, a little bit more in depth in terms of deities of Wiccans. You have a goddess and a god, which is a feminine and masculine essence of the all encompassing life force responsible for all creation, including the cycles of life and death on earth. Wiccans believe that these deities are multifold. In that sense, it's a dual theistic religion rather than traditional monotheistic religions like Christianity. So, when I began to do my research on Wiccan, as I have on many religions, you will always find something that will fit what you believe or what that may be tailored to you. Okay? Um I do believe that there's other gods. I do. I believe that there is a supreme God of all gods, but I honestly believe there are other gods. I believe the ultimate God, the supreme God, allows, you know, the forces of other gods. I honestly do. Believe it or not. I don't consider myself to be Wiccan. Although some of the things that I do would be considered along the lines of Wiccan. It also would be considered along the lines of voodoo and hoodoo as well. So it's based on what you classify yourself as. Um, I do know you would know when somebody is a quote witch because they have different cycles that they go through. Different cycles that, many people may not even pay no attention to, but it's different cycles that they go through when you are a witch or Wiccan. Because from my understanding of Wiccan, before I began to do my research on it last year, is that Wiccan is a form of witchcraft and that they were witches. I don't consider myself to be a witch. Um, the next person may. The next person may look at what I do and say she's a witch. I'm not. Um, I feel like witchcraft is a form of control, brainwashing, mind control, manipulation, and such. I do. I honestly do. Root work. Some people may refer to it as root work, root worker, and things of that nature. I don't affiliate myself with those type of practices. However, I do believe that what I've been doing before did not work. And I'll leave it at that. The things that I was doing before did not work. And since I've taken on my spiritual works, which I have been lax with it, but since I have taken on my spirit works and I have been kind of slack with it lately, I've noticed that things have worked in my favor. It has. Um, so, um, it also mentions here that some of the Wiccans refer to a horned god, and they said it has nothing to do with Satanism or devil worship. That may be for the core believers, the original Orthodox leaders or believers in the practice of Wicca. But as I mentioned previously, earlier, when I was doing my tarot card reading in my last podcast, the original people, the original creators, person or persons who created the religion of Wiccan or any other religion may have intended it to be one way, but as we all know, things change and it probably spiraled or spin off into something else. Because and I'm going to pull up a word and I'm going to spell it SECT, set, and I'm going to play it so you can have the
sect.
Set. A group of people with somewhat different religious belief from those of a larger group of which they belong. So you have different sets of the core beliefs of any religion. So the actual person or persons who started the original religion may not have meant for it to be where it is today. Is what I'm getting at. I have met and have been accompanied by Wiccans that I felt like were witchcraft, plain and simple. Like you really couldn't tell a difference one way or another. Okay. So I'm not going to be on here too much long because I said I just wanted to do a quick update on the religion of Wiccan. And so before I do, I'm going to go back to um Wikipedia because that's where I originally read from when I began to look up Wiccan and Wicca. So it says it's a modern pagan religion. Scholars of religion categorize it as a both new religious movement and as part of an occultist stream of Western is sectarism. It may develop in it was developed in England during the first half of the 20th century and was introduced to the public in 1954 by Gerald Gardner, a retired British civil servant. Wiccan draws up a diverse set of ancient pagan and 20th century Hermetic motifs of its theological structure and ritual practices. So I'm not going to go into details because, as you know, Wikipedia has a lot of extensive information on here that you can, look up. So I'll just touch bases on some of the things that it has. It says, when the religion first came to public attention, it was commonly called witchcraft. And so the father of Wicca, Gerald Gardner, um, it has here, there is no evidence that he ever called it Wicca, although he did refer to the collective community and pagan witches as the Wicca. So it just go more extensively. I do have the podcast where I go, a little bit into depth as to the practice of Wicca, and it's pretty much essentially this information here in terms of, what they believe and things like that. Of course, they believe that in magic, manipulative force exercised through the practice of witchcraft or sorcery. Do I believe in witchcraft? Do I believe in sorcery? I do. I do. I think a lot of people do. More people do than they will let on to believe. Because as I mentioned, earlier in the podcast that I did, you don't want to give power to those forces. Like, we know it exists, we know that it's real, but we don't want to entertain it. Like, we don't want to put it on forefront, because when those spirits begin to have power, they mishandle it and abuse it, is what that is. But it's real. Okay, so I'm going to close out, and I thought that I would talk on that topic today. So thank you for tuning in. You have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.